Hi everyone, this is Ida of Created to Create. Welcome back to my channel. If you are not 18 years or older, this video content is not intended for you. Guys, I want to thank you all for subscribing, for commenting, for supporting my channel. When you give me a thumbs up, I really appreciate that, guys. And it really does help my channel. So when you do that, you are helping me out. So I appreciate it. And I just want to say thank you. Today, I want to share a project that I created using a couple of Spellbinders new release. I think it was their Christmas August release or the August release. Well, it was a Christmas one as well. Anyway, it was their August release, and I did purchase some of the dies that I saw the ladies create with so I could play with them, and I want to share with you what I created, and I'm also going to share with you what I picked up. Also, in the description box below, just click on more and the window will expand and there will be more information there, and I will post the links to the items that I use for my projects in the description box below. Those will be affiliate links whenever possible, and I thank you for using those. If you purchase with those items, I will make a small commission. So let me share with you, I picked up only a few things, and I wanted to share them with you all. Now, when I go to link some of the links below, if there's any type of sale going on with any of the companies that I purchased from or that I'm sharing with you, if they have any promotions, I will definitely put the link or something to the effect of what's going on with that company. That way you guys could benefit from those sales and different things that they do. So one of the things that I picked up, and I didn't create with it, was this little balloon dog die. And it is a layering. You can add dimension to it. And I love it. It's small, and I've been looking for a good one. I do have one, but not like this. I actually have one that's a stamp and die, but there was an error and they're not facing in the same direction, so I can't use the die to cut out the balloon dog. But this one does not, it doesn't have a stamp to it, or I don't think it does, but it does come with the layering pieces. Look at that, guys, and he's a pretty good size. Yeah, he's a pretty good size. He's really cute. I'm looking to see if the size is on here. Sometimes they'll put the size of the item on there. And I will measure that for you because I don't see where they gave us that. So this little balloon dog measures from the tip of the nose to the tip of the tail, which is the longest. It measures, I'm going to say 3 7/8, just about approximately 3 7/8 to 3 3/4. And then from top to bottom, from the lowest foot to the top of his ears, he measures 2.5 inches, 2 5/8, give or take. So that's what he measures. He's a pretty good size, so I really like it. I haven't played with it, but I will. So that's one of the dies that I picked up. I also picked up these lights by Spellbinders, and I believe they have some larger ones. I bought the smaller ones because of what I wanted to use them for, but I will link both of them, and then it's up to you to make your decision there. But the reason I like these is because they come not just with the little Christmas lights, but they also have little bells that you can add, and I think little stars or something, or a twinkle. So this is one of the ones that I use, and here are the little bells, and it's 2 layering pieces, the light bulbs as well. Then it's got these that look like little stars or like a twinkle or something. It has the caps for the light bulbs, 2 little bows to go on either end, and then the string where you would string the string of lights. So I really like that. And then another thing that I picked up, and not everything has come in because I did pick up a couple other things and they're not here yet. Another thing that I picked up is this, the holiday, what is it called? The Camper Life. It's called Camper Life. And this particular die came out with their Christmas release, but it does have additional add-ons to it, where like this one has the cup that comes in the set. There you can actually get a pizza. What was the other one? I know I saw a pizza. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember, but there's several add-ons that would go on the top of the camper, and I will list those in the description box as well. I didn't even use the cup. I just used the camper, so I'm going to share with you what I created with that. And here are all the little pieces. You get a bunch. I think the hardest thing for me was trying to figure out what was what, but when you really sit and look at it and look at the image, you can kind of tell. What I like about this, that also is laid out in a way that, for example, this piece right here, this is the what goes on top of the cup, and then it comes with these two pieces, and you would wonder, well, what is that? Well, that's actually the bumper, the back bumper of the camper, which would go here if it were flipped around. And then this is a little border strip that goes right underneath the window. But the more you look at it, the more you'll be able to tell where they go, and also the pictures as well. So that really does help. So if you get these, keep the packaging, that way you can reference back to it. So that's another one that I picked up now. And I also picked up this one right here. I'm not sure if this one is still available, and this is a Christmas sentiment stamp. And I really like this. I love the fonts. I love it when they have two different types of fonts within a sentiment. I think it looks really nice. But there's one here that I like that I picked up. This one. I thought it would go well with the camper, you know, because you're out in the woods and stuff. So it says, deep within the winter forest, among the snowdrift wide, you can find a magic place where all the fairies hide. So I thought that was pretty cute. It's not necessarily Christmas, but it is winter, and it's talking about the woods where you would take your camper. So I picked that one up. If this is available, I will link it in the description box. And then, of course, it's got other holiday sentiments that you can use. So that's another one of the ones that I picked up. So I'm going to share with you my project, and I do have other things, but I don't think they're available anymore. So I'll share them with you, but I doubt that I'll be able to find them. The first thing that I created was, let me move these out of the way. That way you won't have all that glare. The first thing I created was this little Christmas card. And it's not traditional colors. I live in Florida, and my team is the Miami Dolphins. So their colors are teal and orange. And so I decided to do one with the colors of the Miami Dolphin team. And I even added the little diamond dots on the wreath to, you know, to mimic ornaments. And I love, love, love. I still added the traditional colors on my little lights. Look at how cute the lights are. One thing that I forgot to do was I was going to run this little silver strip right here through an embossing folder that had maybe a diamond pattern or something like that to kind of look like a toolbox. And I forgot to do that, but I'm sure it will look really, really cute. And I think it would look beautiful like that, but I forgot to do it. Anyway, this is what the first one I created. And there are two different pieces to the bumper. There's one that comes attached with this piece and this little teal color I have there, the darker teal. And then there's another piece that only comes with this part. So however you want to use it, if you want to do it all one solid color or keep building it up, you could do that as well. Let me see what else. I did use an embossing folder for the outside, which is not a, it's an old Doris folder with snowflakes. And I've had this for a very long time. I'm not sure if I can even find it. I will look for it. If I can find it, I will link it in the description box. What I like about this folder, it's a little bit bigger than what we normally do, which is what? A 5.5 by 4 1/4 card. So this is a little bit wider than that, but it wasn't wide enough for what I needed, because this one right here measures, I think this is a 5.5 by 5.5, and I would have liked to have gone 6 by 6, but it was gonna look really odd with, you know, with with the snowflakes not extending as far as they needed to. And even on here, they didn't, but it's not that obvious. For the snow down here, I use, let me grab that real quick. Let me grab it so you can see what it is. And I use this every year on my, whether it be a Christmas ornament that I'm creating, whether I'm altering a box, whether I'm creating a card. It's this Aleene's Glitter Snow. And I'm almost out actually because I use it all the time. So that's what I use for that. Again, if I can find it, I will link it in the description box. And it does have, I don't know if the camera is picking it up, but it does have some iridescent glitter in it. And then I just layered with, again, playing off with the darker color on the camper and the orange. And then my base is just white. And in the centers of some of the snowflakes or the snowdrops, I added little crystals. I kept it pretty simple. I think it took me longer to put the camper together than anything else. But once you have that going and you figure out where everything goes, it does go smoother. For the sentiment, this is also included in the camper die set. Again, I just offset the strip piece so you could see some orange on the bottom, and the other piece you pair them together and it'll cut out the strip with the letters cut out. And I cut it out in two colors. I cut it out in white and in the darker teal, and then I just inset. I went ahead and glued all the little letters back in the spot where they go. But there is an easier way to do that. But I just wanted to have the three colors, and I really love the way it looks. I didn't add any sentiment to the inside because I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. But it is a Christmas card, but I just don't know who it's going to. The Snowdrift right here is also a die that's in the camper, so you get everything you need to create this card except for the lights. That's a separate die, but you know, all in all, I think it was worth it. And then for all the shabby ladies, I know there's a lot of you that like pink everything. So I decided to create a pink one. And again, I went with the white base. There's something about a card for me that has a white base that stands out to me. And then I added a pale pink layer or matte. And then I added a glitter. Do y'all remember this chunky glitter that we were all crazy about a couple years ago? I still have it. I haven't used it. So it's kind of, you can't really cut it. You can cut it with your dies, but it's kind of difficult. So I just cut a square, and it's rough on your paper trimmer. So I would recommend that you use a blade, some kind of cutting blade, and a ruler to cut it. That's what I had to do. But I didn't waste the inside, because when I do a frame and you're only going to see the little bit of the edge on the outside, I do go ahead and hollow out the center because you're never going to see that, and I can reuse that piece on another project. So here is my pink camper. On this one I added the little bells, and it does come with the garland or the rope. And I cut this one out in gold. So this one has the accents in gold. The other one had it in silver. I added, of course, a bling to the wheel. And then another little smaller bling, the same type of bling, but a tiny one for the doorknob. And it, like I said, everything else is accented in gold, where I was putting like different frames and stuff like that. But I love the way this came out. For this one, I didn't inlay any of the letters. I cut it out in pink, and I cut it out in that glitter gold that you can see right through there. And I just glued them together, and you get that beautiful glitter look right there, as if I inlaid the letters, but I really didn't. The embossing folder that I used here, you see I hope you can see the details in this beautiful tree, the snow, the clouds. This is actually a cloud going across, but this is a fall envelope and embossing folder. It's a 3D embossing folder by Sheena Douglas, and you can't get that anymore. If I can find one, I will link one, but I've had it a couple years now, And by the time I found it, I think it was already out of circulation as well. But I was, able to find it because right here you can see the leaves. You can see some of the leaves. So it's a winter day for me, or a fall day, could be for either. And I added some stickles, the iridescent stickles on here so the snow would glisten to make it look like snow, but you can also make it look like grass or dried grass. I mean, with this embossing folder, it does have a lot of potential. For the edging, the gold edging you see around here now, you can do one of two things. I always use a gold leafing pen to edge some of my cards when I want to add gold to it, or you could just add glue to the very edge of the frame and dip it in some gold glitter or iridescent glitter, and it would be beautiful as well. I didn't think about that before, so I just used the pen, but definitely this would have looked beautiful if it glistened all the way around the frame. Again, I kept this I didn't put a sentiment in there because I don't know who it's going to, but a beautiful camper nonetheless. So I created one more, and I didn't put it on anything. I created one more camper, which is this one for all the shabby ladies who love all those pastels. And this one has the mint green with the pink, and even on the awning you can see the mint green and the glitter. So even though it's mint green, it's a different type of paper. Like I used a pearl paper, I used a glitter paper in the mint green colors, and then my overall camper, of course, in pink. On this one I did the little lights, and I haven't added glossy accents to the wheel because I love it when they look shiny, like kind of like somebody just detailed it and they clean the wheels with Armor All or whatever it is that they use to make them shine. I didn't do that yet. Again, I added a little wreath to the door. I haven't added any baubles to this one yet. I need to do that. And this little wreath and the bow also comes with the camper die set. But it is beautiful. If you wanted to add a sentiment, the door does open. I didn't add any to mine. I just kind of left it open so you could see it would open. On this one, I did add the little gold diamond dots to it. And this is a standard embossing folder that I have in a 3D as well. The problem is that the camper is a little long, and this is in portrait and not in landscape, so it doesn't fit. If the embossing folder was like this, then it would fit. But because the image that it embosses is in portrait mode or format, see how it just reaches the edge from edge to edge. So that didn't work for me. Although this is a beautiful embossing folder, I do recommend that you find one that is in the landscape and not portrait. And the embossing folder that I use here with the dried tree, it is a Crafter's Companion embossing folder, and I was looking for the packaging for it, and I don't know where I set it down so you guys could see what it looks like. Oh, here it is. Never mind. So here is, see right there? Here is the image. So you get the tree, which can be a fall tree or it can be for winter. It has the beautiful clouds going across, the dried branches, and this can either be dry, it can be dirt, it can be grass, it can be whatever you want it to be. So I kind of just left it the way it was, all white, and just added the sparkle like it was snow. But even right down here you can see, let me see the back. Right there. Even you can see that it has leaves and all that good stuff, but you really can't tell it by the time you use it. Now for some reason her image is reversed, because when I emboss it, my tree's on the other side, unless she did it on the reverse. But it's beautiful. I really love this, and I've had it, look, I got it at Tuesday morning, and that's all I paid for it, but I know you're not going to find it for that. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. That's all that I wanted to share with you guys today. I wanted to share the cards that I created. So you can see that this particular die does have a lot of potential. When my other one comes in, I will definitely be creating with those, and I'll share them with you guys. Remember, all the links are in the description box, and those are, whenever possible, they will be affiliate links, and I really appreciate you guys using those. Thanks for watching. Bye.